Hello and welcome back to another day in the very cold and miserable looking woods at the moment. Unfortunately, it is getting pretty dire at the moment. However, good news for today's vlog, the plasterer has been and the bathroom is looking wildly different. Now, before we head up the stairs and take a look, this is what the bathroom looked like after I finished plasterboarding it. I was actually quite happy with how it turned out. But this is what we looked like before, and this is what we look like afterwards. It honestly changes the room so much. As you can tell, it's still drying out. And those of you with a keen eye may notice that there is parts of the wall that haven't been plastered. Obviously behind me, this is all going to be tiles, but the plasterer said he would struggle to get like a really nice finish on the back here because of how small the shelves are. But he did come up with a really good idea of putting either like plastic like panels at the back, kind of similar to what you saw in the last video at our mum's farm with the campsite, like white plastic PVC panels. Doesn't have to be white, it could be anything. But I could put splashbacks at the back of these. I thought what would be a nice idea is actually to use kind of like a mirror, but rather than like just a normal mirror, try and get like it's like a speckled mirror effect. You see it in restaurants sometimes. So it's like not a true mirror where you can stand here and look at yourself, because that's not really the point of the mirror in there. It's just like to make the room look bigger and have a nice backdrop. So something that looks a little bit like this. If I can source it, I'm gonna try and put some of those in there. And then obviously I'm gonna have some oak shelves on here, which will match the windowsill. If you remember, there is actually aqua panel on here. Now, he did prime it all before like skimming over it. Same with where the toilet's gonna go, but I wasn't sure yet if I'm going to tile over this or what. In an ideal world, you wanna put a splashback behind the toilet and behind the sink, and obviously at the end of the bath. But even with the skimming there and the plaster, I know that you can prime it and I can still tile to that if I want to, or if I decide to go for like a paneling, or like say for example, I get panels to this instead of like the mirror, I could use the same paneling for the rest of the room so it kind of all matches each other. But I wasn't too sure what I was gonna do with it, so I thought best be safe than sorry. Whilst I've got him, just plaster the whole room, and I can always come back, as I said, and prime the wall before tiling to it or whatever I decide to do. So the entire room is now plastered. It's at that next stage, which to be honest now is probably to start fitting the bath in. If we get time today, I'm hoping to get the bath in place and all plumbed in and stuff like that, and like basically see if it works with how I've set everything up. Fingers crossed we could do that today. The reason I say hopefully is because I've been very busy this morning, so the vlog's starting a little bit later than usual, so I don't have as many hours in a day to do things. And if you recall from a few vlogs ago, the rooms upstairs are currently it's just a complete mess up here. So I think before I even start like trying to fit the bath and do all of that, as I'm not really in a rush to get the bath in and continue progress on this room, I want to prioritize making sure upstairs is spick and span. That being said, once the bath is actually in, there's nothing really stopping me from tiling all of this up and getting the shower fitted, with the exception of just waiting on finances to do that. Now, very fortunately for me, my mom has come in clutch and offered to help. So at the end of this month, I should be able to tile this room. And during, what month of it? Yeah, during November, this room should start being like finished and usable. Now, the final touches in this room, whether it's tiles or like the shelves, the floor, and the paint, is probably more of the expensive things, because obviously that's the final touch. Like, you want the nice stuff. I could just get some plywood and just make some plywood shelves, which I might very well do just temporarily. Put some plywood shelves in there, and I can always replace them with the oak ones later on. But I need to make sure I'm spending good money on the paint to obviously get good bathroom paint, so I'm not worrying about damaging the walls. The floor, not too stressed about. I still have no idea where to get the floor from, like, at the moment. I may very well end up just getting like a cheap liner or something. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do with the floor, but I may very well just get the floor down so it's got something for the time being. And then the other thing that this room needs, after tiles, floor, and the walls painted, is I need to do the lights as well as the extractor. They're the main jobs left to do. Once the bath is in and the tiles are done, technically speaking, I could use the bath and the shower, but obviously with like plaster like this, exposed plaster that's not been protected, I do run the risk of damaging things in the meantime. So kind of want to hold off as much as possible. As I said, hopefully during the month of November, so next month's vlogs, we can get a large percentage of the room done, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and cost things up at the moment. So I don't know how much the floor's going to cost. I don't know how much it's going to cost to paint the room. I do have in budget, I can definitely get it tiled next month, but the rest of the room, I just don't know yet. So that's the plan for today. But before we start tidying up the mess up here, today's video is sponsored by Reolink, or more specifically, the Altus PT Ultra. It is a wide-angle pan and tilt camera with 4K resolution. And its best feature, by far, is the fact that it is battery powered. I have got mine connected to a solar panel, and even with low visibility that I have in the woods, it stays charged, so I never miss a thing. When that camera has got full battery, it can record continuously for up to 8 days. And that includes its full color night vision. No longer do you need infrared cameras or black and white film to see what's going on at night. This camera will pick things up like it's daytime. I currently have mine set up on a tree overwatching my back garden, but thanks to its great Wi-Fi connectivity, it's over 50 meters away from the Wi-Fi access point over there, which means you can pretty much put it anywhere. I mean, mine's tied to a tree. You don't have to have it connected to a house or run cables everywhere and try and get your cameras connected. It keeps you safe and secure all the time. So whether you want to time-lapse your garden transformation or simply feel more comfortable at home knowing that you've got a watcher in the trees, the PT Ultra is honestly one of the best cameras I have. The fact that it can pan and tilt and it can see everything with its wide angle is so good. So if you want to get yours, and make sure you scan this QR code that you can see on screen now, there'll be a link in the description as well as a pinned comment. You guys know where to go. Reolink have been supporting me now for the past year, and I have an abundance of cameras, and the PT Ultra is one of their better cameras. The fact that it's battery powered and I can put it in a tree and just leave it there is amazing. Having to run cables everywhere is a logistical nightmare when you're like renovating a house, or even if you've got your own property and you want it at the end of your garden. Just something like that, it's so convenient. So big shout out to Reolink for supporting me and this channel, and let's get back to actually doing some work. Right, I have a lot to tidy up, so let's get you on a tripod, cue the music, and time lapse it. Took so much longer than I was anticipating. I am literally dripping in sweat. I am sorry for that, it's gross. But room nice and tidy. There's bits and bobs to organise really, and stuff that I don't really want to take a solid wooden door down the stairs on my own. Box of all my Nan's things in the corner, obviously bath that we're going to use. I stacked up all of the good, quote unquote, wooden floorboards to use them in spots if we decide to reuse them. I can't make my mind up still whether to just reboard the floor, because from a cost perspective, I know it's so much talk about money, but it's what it really comes down to. From a cost perspective, it isn't actually much money realistically to reboard the floor. I think in total to reboard the bathroom it cost me 50 quid maybe. I don't know, I'd have to look. It wasn't much, it really wasn't. And that was like moisture resistant, like P5 chipboard for the bathroom. So to do the rest of the house, I can't imagine it costing me too much. It's something that I will consider when we start doing the bedrooms. But tidy, I need to fold that up, organise some things. I did consider taking my tools downstairs, but realistically, I'm going to use them up here. So I've started bringing some stuff up as it's easier just to have it up here. Bathroom stuff organised, ready to go in the bathroom, and I've kept a couple of half decent sheets of plasterboard that I can use to plaster up the rest of the place. Oh, I'm going to get some fresh air, and I think we're going to attempt to fit the bath. I have a funny feeling I won't be able to. I feel like I'm missing some fittings. My memory from like doing the last bathroom at the bungalow, a lot of the bathroom suite didn't come with fittings. So I have a feeling I'm going to need to get some stuff. Like, I don't think it's got a bath trap / waste, so I won't be able to completely plumb it in. I'm 90% positive though I can get the taps in and I can do the waste afterwards, so I should be able to slot the bath in. We'll see how we get on. I still, honestly, like I said, I feel like I'm missing stuff because I'm also pretty sure I'm gonna need some CLS. I don't know if I've got enough of that either. We'll play it by ear. And we'll try and get the bath in the room and set up and ready, because I would like to see how high off the ground it is with the bath panel, because the bath panel is going to determine the height of the bath. If the bath panel makes the bath too high, then I'm going to have to probably make my own, which isn't the end of the world, but it's just not ideal. It'd be perfect just to have the bath panel that comes with it and just put that on there. Anyways, I'm gonna go cool down a little bit before I carry on filming, because I'm literally dripping and it's gross. Right, the bath is in the room. I can't lie, tidying everything up and shifting those really heavy pieces of timber has completely zapped me for energy. So I'm feeling a little slow right now. I'll be honest, everything's just a bit slow motion. I feel like a bit lethargic, to be honest, but now that we have got the bath in the room, I think the next thing I'm going to do is actually fit the taps. Which, I won't lie, I am a little concerned now if I can. So I've planned to put my taps in the middle of the bath without checking, because I didn't think you even had to, but I haven't checked to see if I can actually put my taps in the middle of the bath, because this bath, where you would ordinarily put the taps here, it's flat and it's quite thin. However, this particular bath, for whatever reason, has what I can only assume is timber that wraps all the way around every other edge of it, and I'm a little unsure if that matters. I have a funny feeling it might. Oh, I can't wait for this bathroom to be done so I can plan properly how to do everything else in the house without just winging it and rushing it. I mean, ultimately, I'm gonna just have to give it a go. Fingers crossed it should be fine, but I mean, before I do anything, I need to measure to make sure the tails on the tap are long enough. From the look of it, I might just get away with it. Only just. There's only one way to find out. So with our bath standing upright, what we want to do is find the middle of the bath. So I know this bath is 150, so the middle is around here. I'm basically sat in the middle of it. And before we start trying to fit the tap, the bath comes with this like plastic seal on it. So we're going to take some of this off, just for now, like so. And then in its place, I'm going to put some painter's tape. Could use masking tape, but painter's tape is all I've got. So we'll get rid of some of this dirty stuff, and we'll put some of this tape on. I can hear so many of you people already writing comments telling me that this is not going to work, but hey-o, this is how we do things. This is the wing it bathroom and hope for the best. We've got this tape on to give us somewhere to draw, so we're going to find the middle, which we know to be 75. And I know that my bath tap is at 180mm centres. So from the centre of here to here is 180mm. So half of 180mm is 90mm. So I know that my tap, need my ruler. Half of 180 is 90, so we'll line up 90mm in the middle there, and then we'll mark out 180 this side and 0 this side. So from this mark to that mark is 90mm, and from that mark to that mark is also 90mm. Now, just to make sure I've got a clean line, I'll use my square and I'll mark that out. So that's the end, that's the centre, and that's the other end. Now, I need to find the centre of this. Now, I genuinely don't think this bath is made to have a tap in the middle. I'm going to try it. If it fails, then it's just an expensive fail, I guess, but the way I plumb this room is to have a tap in the middle. I personally want a tap in the middle, and I don't want to have to think in a year's, 2 years time, I need to swap the bath out to put a tap, because you get the idea. It starts to slope here, so I can't have my tap sitting on a slant like that, right? It needs to sit on a flat surface. So what I'm going to do is, we'll go from 200. We'll find the point at which it starts to slope, which is there, which is actually right on my tape actually. So from the tape to the end of the bath is 52mm, which means the centre of this gap here is, shoot my eyes, I need glasses so bad. It's 54mm, which means the centre is 27mm. Could probably actually use this what it's intended for. So as you can see, I've got my centre cross here, I've got my end and my other end. So my tap should fit beautifully right there. Double check against the tap, it's on the centre of both. So I know I'm good to drill here. And this is the bit that I'm not sure about. First things first, I'm using a small bit just to pilot hole. So make sure that is exactly on the cross. Promising. And again on the other end. Now we go with our hole saw, which is a 38mm hole saw. But check your taps before you do this. The instructions will tell you whether it's the right size or not. And we're going to go nice and easy and keep our drill as perfectly level as possible. That's one hole. And yeah, definitely some timber in there. It's looking promising so far. Hole number 2. Beautiful. You know, the worst thing is about tidying up is that when you're doing this stuff, you're instantly creating a new mess. Okay, so now we have to take our tape off. We're left with a couple of really nice neat holes. It looks to me like I've got that spot on in the middle. We now take our taps and we have a nut and washer on here, which is going to go underneath the bath. The tap is going to go right there, and this is the bit I'm hoping for. Washer on underneath, and we'll put the nut on after the fact. Hopefully this is going to be fine. I have no idea if it will or not. Fortunately, I think we're okay. I'm going to stand the bath up now and just attach the tails to it just to make sure. But it's on there, bang in the center, really nice and neat fit. It's just whether the tails have got enough to grip onto. Talk about fine margins, but a very, very big sigh of relief. The next step is to get the overflow and drainage connected, which is this thing right here. But before I connect all of this stuff up, for whatever reason, there is like a gazillion staples in the bottom of the bath, which is where these little wooden things is where the bath panel will fit into, and at the back I'll like to use those to rest it on the timber I fit to the wall. So I'm going to clean those up before I carry on.
But seriously, did we need to use this many staples? Holy moly.
Anyways, fitting the plug and overflow is actually super, super easy. So plug just goes in to the hole like that, and then underneath you have the rubber seal against the bath, and then it screws in to the plug through the bath. It's kind of hard to get an angle of it, but here, rubber seal will go on first, and then that will screw into there. Only thing that's really important to note when you do this is, just like here, this protective film, this plastic that's on it, whilst you can't see it, it is there. So you need to peel back, as you can see from my finger, peel it back a little bit so you make sure you're getting this rubber seal to the actual bath, not to the plastic. Rather typically with this room and everything I've done so far, it's actually missing a part. I am missing I'm missing a rubber seal on my overflow, so I can't fit that right now, which is typical. Fortunately, these are super common. People pick them up all the time, so I can just get them from DIY stores or, you know, Screwfix, B&Q and so on. It's looking more and more unlikely that I'll be able to get everything associated with the bath done today. I mean, to be fair, I am missing the bath trap because that didn't come. I'm now going to need an overflow to sort out the waste and everything. So, I mean, at the very least, let's get the timber fitted to the wall so we can rest the bath in place. And as I mentioned, I do want to see the bath panel on the front of it. Now, I've never actually fitted a bath panel before, but I don't expect it to be rocket science. I'm pretty sure. Oh, that is concerning though. Yeah. Oh, I think I have a sneaking suspicion that this bath panel is going to make my bath higher than the windowsill. In fact, it's incredibly likely that that is the case. Right, well, for a start, it's obviously too low. It needs to come up a fair bit to fit this in. I think best idea might be, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the bath out a little bit, sit it up on its side, dry fit the panel, and measure the distance from the bath panel to the bottom. 55. So the bath panel, this is so hard to do with one person, let me tell you. 550 mil is the minimum height with the bath panel on. Nothing is ever simple in this house. Although I say this, I've said this a couple of times, this is why you properly plan things before you do them. Now granted, my only excuse will be, I moved here at like a very last minute kind of thought decision and hadn't had time to plan the house out on how I was going to do things. I mean, I didn't even know I was going to move the bathroom up here until I actually moved in, took up the floor, and saw that the joists were stable enough to support a bathroom. So I haven't had much chance to plan this out. So unfortunately, it means that this series, or the videos, have been all over the place, and you've just come along for this random ass roller coaster. This guy kind of knows what he's doing, but he doesn't know what he's doing either because he just makes it up every video. So, my window sill is 52 centimeters, 520 mil off the floor, which means that the bath is 30 mil above the window sill. 30 mil is quite thick for a sill, I won't lie. I can afford to raise the windowsill by 35 mil. I can get away with 35 mil. I mean, to be fair, looking at the top, I could probably get away with more. The top there, the plaster has come down basically right on the beading of the window, which is just about okay, I guess. To be fair, the wooden trim that went on it before was the same. The difference is the wooden trim can come off. The plaster is a bit more of a pain in the ass. I think it'll be fine. But if we scoot back down here, I could obviously bring this windowsill up. Realistically, I don't want to go much higher than this point here. It's 35 mil off the current, like where the sill is currently. So I think that is quite fine. If I bring the timber up to 35 mil, so the sill, I mean, in many ways, I might as well make the windowsill exactly the same height as the bath. Right, back to the drawing board. In many ways, it's fine because I can't really continue the bathroom at the moment anyway, due to the fact that, you know, I'm waiting for money and stuff like that. So it kind of gives me an opportunity to address these problems now and think of a solution for them. I don't think it's actually that big of a deal to raise the windowsill up. The only downside is that underneath the windowsill, obviously because the bath only comes out to like here, it's actually more like here. The bath only comes to like here, which means that there's a whole lot of windowsill where underneath I'm probably going to have to plasterboard a bit more and skim it. Oh God, I'm sorry. Sometimes I wonder why I bring you guys along for this ridiculous thing that I'm doing, but I mean, it's looking good so far, but there are just bumps in the road, I guess. It is what it is. Right, this looks bizarre. I can't lie, it does look really odd. But I have raised the bath up and I've kind of just slotted the panel in for now. It's not fitted, it needs to be screwed and stuff like that, or clipped, which I don't think I have. It says on these instructions here that you are meant to use a screwdriver to screw them in like that. But I don't know, I've never fitted one of these before. It shouldn't be difficult, but yeah, I feel like I need those screws. But it hasn't come with any screws, so I'm gonna have to get my own. Actually, I don't know. Anyway, this is all fitted in. This wood here is actually the sill that I'm going to get. Now, this is just an offcut that I got from Mum's, but this is what the wood's gonna look like. This is oak. It's very nice. It needs to be stained and whatnot, but yeah, that's gonna go on the windowsill. It still needs to go up a touch because that's very unstable because this panel is basically holding it up currently on this end. But as you can see there, the level, it's actually not too far off the sill. So the windowsill's not gonna have to come up too much. So I do think we should be okay. One thing I will say is that this wood, it actually looks so good. It makes me excited for the shelves. And I do like the fact that it's 20 mil thick, so it's quite a nice piece of wood, but imagine that wood, the entire shelf. Oh, it's gonna look so good, and it'll match with the windowsill. But yeah, unfortunately, as I said, the day started a little bit late today, so I haven't been able to film as much or get as much done as I would like. Granted, I have actually blitzed upstairs, which I am very happy about. The fact that everything is like tidy now, don't get me wrong, there's just odd bits and bobs around, and I need to get some more hoover bags so I can properly hoover, but I'm starting to get rid of a lot of the dust, which is relieving. We have got the bath tap fitted to the bath. I need to go out and get the waste for it, and I need to get the bath trap, but I think in the next vlog I will be able to finish the bath and get it properly fitted. I don't have the timber to screw timber into the wall now, for the bath to sit on, which is irrelevant anyway. Even if I did have it, because of the nature of how like this day is panned out, it's too late for me to start drilling into the wall and creating a lot of noise. As you can probably tell out the window, it's starting to get dark already. So yeah, I don't want to disturb my neighbours or anything like that. But yeah, we've made a bit of progress, albeit today is probably a bit of a shorter vlog. All the same, with the plaster starting to dry in this room and it all being skimmed, with the bath now in place, it's really starting to come together. I cannot tell you how weird it is to see a bath there, and it's an incredibly small bath. Like, don't get me wrong, when you're like, oh, 1700 mil is like a standard bath size, 1500 mil is what we've got, and you think, oh, 200 mil is not much, really. But yeah, when it's there, it is a small bath. I will never get in this bath to have a bath. Jess might fit in it just about if she's lucky. Kids will be able to use it for the time being, but yeah, it is a small bath. All the same, it works for us for now. I can't actually fit a bigger bath in there. As you can see by the gap at the end there, it's basically touching the window, so it almost fits in that gap perfectly. Hindsight tells me that if I'd built this stud wall out just a little bit further, then it would be properly snug. But it is what it is. I'll make up for it on this end. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I've been told to stop yapping at the end of the vlog by so many people. So I'm going to keep this nice and short. If you are someone who has already bought Orion Whittle merch, my clothing line, then I really do appreciate it. The new stuff is genuinely incredibly comfortable, incredibly durable, and I'm really happy with the design. So thank you so much for those people who have gone the extra mile to go buy some clothing. Again, shout out to the guys over on Patreon, as always, for going that extra mile to support me on a month-by-month basis. They get the vlogs early. I had an interesting comment today actually about like what my schedule is, and I'm still umming and ahhing about the fact that it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, because as I record this right now, I even forgot that one of my vlogs is going live today. So I'm kind of like, maybe it'd be easier for it just to be like Monday to Thursday, just like weekday vlogs. And if I can get a bonus one out on a Friday, then you've got a week's worth of vlogs during the week when you get home from work or whatever. So yeah, let me know again what you think in the comments down below. But as always, been Orion. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. A little bit of a shorter, just getting stuff done day today. No yapping for half an hour. Peace, much love, bye-bye. Oh, I don't think there's actually many bloopers from today because I just haven't done a great deal. So yeah, I might just put you down here, just there, and you know, enjoy the outro music, buy the new clothing. It's genuinely really good. See you next time.